Yo, what's up, everybody? My name is Devin Adams, CEO of Determined Athletes. You're listening to the Instant Grits podcast. And as we all know, I'm determined to not motivate. I'm determined to inspire a movement of change. Like I said, we have a full house today. We're on episode 3, and we got the crew in. Lopez, aka Black Spanish, aka Black Spaniard, aka is my name Damon, aka Mustafa, aka Mustafa Face, aka Lion King, King of the Jungle. That's all of them, right?
I'm not giving you any more.
But those are cool. Those are cool. Day Day,
If
Lolo.
you forgot what I'm not giving you
AKA
one
Lolo,
anymore.
AKA Day Day, all great nicknames. So I welcome that. We got Timbo, Big Tree, Timbo Patron, even though he don't drink. Big Tree Fall Hard. We got Roots. We got Groot. We got I Am Groot. We got Kirkpatrick, Sir Patrick, Kirkpatrickless, Sir Patrick a lot. We got them all. So like I'm just saying, I got them. I'm feeling good. I'm not
This is
sleepy.
what we deal with. This is what we do.
No, it's not what y'all do with.
It is.
Lopez, we were just having a civil conversation outside.
We was.
It's over.
Patton, we have civil, mind-changing conversations.
We do.
When we just chilling after the studio.
I know, but then you do this though.
Okay, all right.
The listeners know, they hear this.
And hold on, I like how you say his nickname. Say his nickname? Chris's go.
Oh, Chris, don't call me Justin
Don't
Timberlake.
call me Justin Timberlake. He's here today, so shout out to Chris.
Man.
Like I said, we're gonna move forward quickly because we got important information to go over today. But hope everybody's well.
Oh, but wait a minute. We not gonna do this, right, Lo? Don't he gotta get his?
He does it. He does.
Okay.
The only reason I let him cut me off is because I'm in a good
There's no.
Don't let that
it was
happen.
gonna
again.
happen again.
Don't-
It was gonna happen.
Patrick, I swear I will crawl up
Dev,
your back. I
AKA
will crawl up your back.
the one-armed bandit, AKA P.
Bev.
Bev.
hate-
P. Bev.
I look at you look at
The
Lopez's face
verbal annoyer.
when he says it. That's why I can't say it.
Bev.
I hate looking at his face when he says it. I don't even mind the nickname.
He
just
don't even
says it with
change
a-
his expression.
I'm not gonna curse,
Bev.
but he says it with a SHI grin on his face, and it bothers me so much. So
It annoys you.
that's
Okay, I
enough
got
of
you.
it.
We had
That's
to
what
give
it's
it back.
supposed to do.
But we all here though.
We are, and shout out to Kevin. He's got his show coming out.
Hey, Kev.
By the time this gets released, hopefully if everybody's joined to listen to it. Kevin Beeford. Devin, my little sister. She's actually like my little sister. Devin Burks is starting one as well. She goes by, I believe, Dev B with 2 E's at the end. DEVBEE on YouTube. Has a good following. Solid content. Very, very smart girl. She's got one coming out about natural hair, and I think black women's stereotypes that need to be discussed. So he's gonna be coming on the show too.
Oh,
She's
yeah,
a
come on,
huge
Dad.
fan, huge supporter of what we're doing, and we're always going to support what she's doing because she's been an integral part of everything we've done in Philly. So shout out to her. Accountability challenge. We need to figure out some. My arm is better. No, that's
I'm about
fine.
to say,
Like I said,
look, shout out to Tim for drinking a gallon of water for everybody. Now I feel
Yes,
bad
sir.
about this
he got
Gatorade
water
I'm
right
drinking.
here. He's drinking his gallon.
I feel bad about this Gatorade I'm drinking.
Yeah,
Oh, you good, bro?
Thanks, Tim.
we sugaring it out, and like I said, we had a little pizza party today, so we still off in that. That's keeping us up.
Yeah, I gotta run that through, Jack.
And keeping us alive. Remember, just keep voting, guys. Everybody keep spreading the word. We really appreciate it. Like I said, we've got listeners from all over the world now, which is fantastic. And there's no exaggeration to say, hopefully this continues to grow. We wanted to discuss heavily today, first of all, Boots of Bravery. That's coming out. We're in charge. We were blessed to be able to be in charge, the 4 of us.
Yeah.
We're putting together a men's conference. And I think we're going to make it 18 and up. But we have a target demographic, and we're looking for a certain person. We want to attract this certain person to these seats.
Mm-hmm.
We're going to be, since we're all basketball guys, we're going to probably have a basketball open gym probably next week. Me and Pat are going to put that out there. So stay on all the social media platforms. And if you come, then that's $5 off. All you really got to do is play, get trashed, and then just get trashed, get bent up, and then just come and write your name down. Then you got $5 off a ticket. I already have a lot of people calling or texting me and Facebooking and Instagramming me, taking off work already since we put it out there. So they're taking off work.
Yeah.
I have a lot of people, a lot of my determined athletes. Shout out to all them. I love all y'all. You already know y'all. Kevin. I'm not going to go down the list, but, Kevin, Troy, Dante, Dion.
Jalen better be on that list.
Jalen. Like I said, we got a whole bunch of people that are going to be there, and we have people that need to be there. So if you want to get some good information, solid information, and we're keeping it real, I'm going to be talking about a lot of demons that I've gone through that I know people can relate with pertaining to my life, negative decisions, when I started losing faith in stuff, when I started forgetting that I had God within me. Like it's going to get deep, but we're also going to be talking about relationships, business content, the mindset and how that's important. And so, like I said, we're really looking forward. Did y'all want to jump on and add anything to that real quick or no?
You covered it all. Y'all need to be there. Y'all need to be in the house. And this is going to be the first of many. So it's not just going to be like a one-day conference and one and done. We are ready to start a movement.
They have no idea the projects
that
we have
none
that are about to launch. No idea, but
it might be a little bit of cussing too.
And fussing.
Hey,
well, ain't nobody mom gonna be in the building, so it's all right.
Oh, there it is.
That's fine. It's all in the ingredients of manhood. That's what we're giving out.
Exactly. That's, once again, Lopez, that's a great like title to whatever. You came in with the other one, the dehumanization of the male masculinity of something you said. You
Principle.
Remember? Excuse me. I know. That's why I'm turning into you. I'm not even trying to fry it. You're good with those. So shout out to you. But since we got Chris in here, Chris, what projects are you working on right now? Because I know when you first walked in, I was talking to you. You said you was working on your website. What is your website covering right now? Like
my
just
website
content-wise?
will be done. I'm making a deadline for myself, June 29th, so I'm going to say July 1st.
I'll hold you accountable to that.
There we go. Accountability.
And it's written in my calendar, and I took a picture of it, so I see it every day.
Self-accountability.
Exactly. It starts with me.
Nice.
But I'm going to have it done by June 29th, and by July 1st, it will be up and running. It is called Speak and Seek. I am the
Speak and Sync?
Seek.
Excuse me. Okay, Speak and
I'm the CEO of Speak What You Seek. And basically what I am doing is...
That's a tough title too, by the way. That's a tough title.
Don't be drunk and say it. Don't be drunk and say it.
I'm trying to imagine being drunk and trying to say it. I can't do
slurring everything.
Okay. All right, go ahead. No, I'm sorry. I really spent too much time with my eyes closed looking up trying to become that right now. I did. Go ahead. Speak what you seek.
Yes.
Okay.
It basically is... I came up with this concept from when I was incarcerated in October of 2016. I was incarcerated for 10 months, and it opened my eyes to the other side of the gated community, which I'd never been in. Now I'm 37, at that time, 35 years of being, alive. I never seen the inside of a jail, but I seen it, and I seen the reoccurring revolving door of young men coming in. There was a young man that I met when I first got there, and maybe about 2 weeks later, he came back again. And him and what's crazy, it's not crazy, it's a fact of how so many young men are locked up right now. At the time, I was 35, and I had younger guys in there calling me OG.
So these numbers that we're reading, they're true. They're
facts.
They're really that high.
Facts. And just from that and him coming back 2 weeks, I asked him, like, what are you doing back? Oh no, I had to get back on the block. I had to make sure my old lady eat. And I looked at him. I said, "Are you serious?" And he was like, "Yeah." I'm like, "Dude, just think about the time that you are in jail. If you're hustling on the street, and if that's what you do, that's what you do. But if you're hustling on the street and you get locked up for 3 years." Try to do the math on the money that you make while you're on the street versus the money that you're not making while you're in jail.
I'm pretty sure nobody's ever thought about that, and I've never thought about that.
And I got that concept from a young lady at a conference that I was at, and I thought about it. And I mean, you can use it for any platform or any idea that that you're trying to what's the word I'm looking for?
Convey or illustrate.
There you go. Yes. So when she said that, it made sense. And I said that to him. I said, just think about the money that you're losing. There's so many other different ways that you can get money, but you don't want to do the work. And that's what a lot of us don't want to do as Black people. We don't want to work. We come in and see, I have a mind like all right, y'all seen Kings of Comedy, right? Sorry to get off topic, y'all. Y'all seen Kings of Comedy,
I just
right?
watched it the other day.
Remember that part when Steve Harvey was Sister Odell and how she went from one song to another song? Sometimes that's where my head goes. But I mean, to get back on topic, seriously,
all right.
To get back on topic, it is a very, very how can I put this? The way we operate, we don't want to work. And we go to work for the first 15, 20 minutes of work. We don't do anything. We sit there, we talk, we go get coffee or juice or something, and it's like, all right, hour and pass, I'll go to work. But I feel like that hour that we miss is a lot of time that we could be doing other stuff. Even if, let's say you're not working at all. You're working, you're at work, but you're not doing the work that you're supposed to do. You could be looking up information and content for whatever, something that you're doing. And for myself, what's today? Saturday? Thursday. Got to work. Me and my coworkers, we weren't doing anything. I skated off, and I ended up putting out an email from MailChimp. Okay. Another email. I think I sent it to you and Tim. I know I sent it to you.
Yeah, I remember seeing it.
But that was my time. I was like, all right, bam, I got, a little bit of time. Let me do this. And that's what I did.
You're maximizing your time.
Exactly. And that's something that we don't do. But like I said, the premise of Speak What You Seek is basically to empower young men to let them know that you have a chance to do whatever it is that you want. And it's a lot of demons that I faced when I was away, a lot of demons that I face now. And I was talking to my son's mom the other day, and she asked me a very, very interesting question. She said to me, is it harder to concentrate being in jail or out of jail?
Wow.
And I said it to her quickly. I said, in jail is a lot easier.
Mm-hmm. I just shook my head.
I saw you. I
do understand. And I'm always on, y'all know I'll be joking and stuff, but
it makes you think.
Say that one more time.
I have, in the midst of a conversation, my son's mom asked me, is it easier to concentrate in jail or outside of jail? And I clearly, with no question, no pause or anything, I told her in jail. And the reason for that is because, and it's not even necessarily about a schedule or anything like that. It's more so of your time utilized. You don't have a lot of time. Well, you have a lot of time to do nothing if you choose to do that. But if you utilize your time, you can get a lot done. I came up with the ebook that I have out right now, which is called Speak What You Seek, Power of Selection. Go check it out on smashwords.com.
Smashwords?
Yes.
Gotcha.
Okay. I did that book, but before that, I came up with a book. I never had a title for it. It was going to be called From the Inside Looking Out or Spiritual Retreat, something to that effect. Mm-hmm. And I had 6 chapters in the book so far, but in each chapter, I wrote different things. And in the first chapter, it was pretty much from the time I got arrested to sitting in the cell, then going down to the roundhouse, sitting down there for a whole day, then getting transport from there all the way up to State Road, and just the whole process, the degrading process of being, becoming a number. Before I went to jail, I was Chris Timberlake, but when I went inside, I became a number. I didn't become another person because in there they don't treat you like human beings.
It sounds like that's something that you and Lopez need to talk about, because as soon as you said degrading, right?
Very degrading.
As soon as you said that,
Lopez
I looked at
shake, so
I know Lopez is. Always on all those topics, those numbers, those specifics. I think that might be something that I acknowledge about both of y'all.
Yeah, I definitely feel what he's saying, because I've never been incarcerated, but I've worked on the other side. So like some of my jobs that I've had have been on the other side, not as extreme as prisoner or jail, but I've worked at places like Glen Mills, places that had adjudicated youth, and I remember leaving those places because of how the kids were treated. It wasn't what I signed up for, and just seeing how easily people can be dehumanized. So I've seen kids. I've watched and researched enough about jails. I can't say I know the first thing about jail per se, because I haven't been in there, but hearing him say some of the things he's saying, I'm over here shaking my head, because I can definitely see and understand exactly what he's saying.
Yeah.
About that process. My dad's currently doing life right now, so I've got a lot of insight from him about the various prisons that he's been in different states. So it's definitely not a really good experience to go through. So that's why I'm just sitting here like hearing him talk about it, and I can see like,
yo, this is the Boots of Bravery crew right here.
Yeah.
Like it just hit me like this is we're going to be the ones holding this whole thing down. And what's great, and I just want to acknowledge it. You already know, and I've acknowledged this about you, is now with Chris. I never knew we've talked, but knowing the in-depth surrounding your story, how you came about it, all these questions and things that you just presented in this last 15-minute window, this conference is going to be kind of tough.
This
is going like I'm getting a little hype. I was
gonna be dope.
Okay, I've been sitting here just listening, taking notes. But is this what?
I mean, he's hit at least 3 things. I'm thinking in my head like, ooh, when we can go.
And are you writing
them?
I'm typing.
Yeah, we can go somewhere with that.
This is why we're doing this. I know the conference right now is only from 1 o'clock to 4 o'clock. It's a quick hitter type of joint.
Right.
But like I said, we got some other things going on, mastermind programs, some monthly conferences, some membership stuff that we're doing. But is this what your podcast is going to be talking about too? This type of content, or what was that going to be geared towards? Or is it still in developmental phases and you still trying to get
developmental? But I like I said when we were speaking of not camera but microphone in this podcast
Lopez
right here.
We couldn't do the camera.
Lopez, we don't do it. We don't. We just don't. If you're not here, we're not going to disrespect you like that. Okay?
But it's I want to go from empowerment for mainly young men, because us as men, we've been through things, we have experience, we know different things, so we can give somebody a chance versus them just going to somebody, a peer, saying to them, oh, I'm thinking about doing this or this, I want to do this, and they get a ridiculous answer from their peers versus coming to somebody that's older. That's what it is.
I know.
It doesn't.
I just think that word is funny. I'm sorry.
It's just it's life right now, and I don't watch the local news now because of all the murders and the stabbings and the killings. And prime example of one. About a month ago, there was a young man, 13 years old, going to a store in Southwest. 12:30 at night. He's going to the store to get some snacks or whatever. Then he gets shot, I think, 2 or 3 times by a 19-year-old. My main question was
out at 12:30. I'm sorry.
That too, but 13 and 19. That's kind of a big age gap. So what beef do y'all have?
Right.
Either y'all live in the same group home, somebody disrespected somebody, which me and Lopez was talking about off air, but it's what is it? What is the 13 and 19? That's all I can't get that out of my head.
Yeah.
I can see if you said 40 and 42, or you said 19 and 21. I can see that. But a 13-year-old boy and a 19-year-old boy,
that's somebody. Yeah, that's like a college versus an 8th grader.
Exactly.
For the dynamics. For
exactly.
Right now,
so, like, what beef do you have? And like I said, unless you live in a group home or you sell drugs on the street and something happened. But I mean, I don't know. But that's the main reason why I don't watch it. And
or again, it could be like, I'm sorry, man. I mean, because
no, sorry.
What we were talking about off air. It could have been he was bricking him. He was looking at him wrong.
Yep.
He looked at him too long, and my man got nervous. Oh, you look like somebody I know, or you might be such and such brother trying to set me up. Let me get you out of here. It's, dumb reasons. It could be any number of things that, unfortunately that would have caused that. So.
Lopez, that just happened to you today. Didn't you say? Well, that didn't happen to you. You're still here.
No, I didn't get
You're
shot.
still here.
I didn't get shot.
But you did say that it was a nice day. Go ahead. Because I mean, like, this is just common for all of us.
So think about.
This is so common.
Yes. I mean, let me comment on that situation. So the sad part about that is to think about this too. So when he said the ages, 13 and 19, to think that both of those guys or young men don't have the life experience enough to carry the anger of murder, right? That much rage that it would take to want to kill somebody. Like, they don't have the years in to have that built up rage that it should take, or you would think it would take, to want to kill somebody. So I mean, that's the sad part. Like, whatever happened between them, I'm sure once we find out, or if we ever find out, it'll either be nothing or something very slight that could have been, addressed a different way. But that's the unfortunate thing. So coming here today, I was driving down Lehigh from 31st all the way down to 2nd. So I drove the whole strip all the way down. I haven't been up that way in a couple years. I haven't drove down Lehigh in a couple years. I used to work in North Philly on 26 and Jefferson, so I used to be around that way quite a lot, but I haven't been that way for a while. So it's nice outside. I'm riding. I see a lot of people walking around. People are out there selling things. Kids are playing. People are walking to the store. Guys are sitting out.
Join outside.
Yeah, enjoying outside. Like what we do when the weather gets nice. We come out, black people, we come outside and we enjoy the weather. So I'm driving, I'm just looking around, and in my mind, I'm thinking like, oh, it's nice to see everybody's out. They're enjoying the weather. I haven't been up this way in so long. So I'm driving, I'm looking around, and I'm, coming to stoplights and things like that. And over as I'm driving down this, 30 or 28 block drive, I'm getting grills by kids. I'm getting grills by young men. I'm getting grills by females. I'm getting grills by older men who are sitting out there. And all of them are
Well, the
looking
females
for
probably are just so impressed by your mane of
maybe
of lionhood and lion sheer lion power.
But definitely with the guys, it felt like they were giving me the look as if they were waiting for the negative response.
Yeah.
Like on guard. Like I'm looking at you a certain type of way, and if I would have responded to one of them in a negative way, they were already prepared for a negative.
Is that taught to us from a young age though? I kind of want to say maybe because my pops.
I don't know. Taught is I don't know. Taught is the right word.
Taught.
I think it's ingrained in.
Yeah.
What's the difference between you telling me something that's going to be ingrained in my
it's
long
not
term?
Purposeful. I don't think anybody I don't think anybody.
My dad military.
And he taught you to grill people.
He taught me to know my surroundings, know who's walking up on me.
That's fine.
Being aware of your situations kind of falls right into this. Now, it might not be a negative staring stare off, but if somebody's staring at you, Patton, like I'm staring at you right now, you notice you haven't even looked away.
No, I'm not.
That's different. That's different than assuming that look is negative. Though.
Right. That's what I'm saying. That's just
as negative. As a man, I would tell my son, "You look a man in his face when you talk to him."
Right. You look him in the eye.
Negative versus I'm watching. What's the difference?
So watching is what I was doing. I was just looking around watching.
Yeah.
What I was getting was the negative stare, as if they're looking for something.
You feel it.
I feel
see exactly what you're saying.
It's a feeling. It's a feeling. So it's not, when I'm talking to students, I'm looking them in their face because I want them to understand my sincerity. I also want them to look me in the face because I want to see their sincerity. So I teach the young men that. Look me in the face, shake my hand, get your hand into my hand on the handshake, right? All that kind of stuff.
Yeah.
That's being a man, right? So that's taught. That's me teaching them something. But what's ingrained in them, an example that would be why maybe if I'm giving them a vulnerable moment and they don't feel comfortable with it, right? So it's ingrained in us as men sometimes to not feel comfortable with that, right? That's not taught. So their dad or their mother or whoever they grew up with might not have said like, oh, you can't be soft and mushy as a man, but just something in the way that idea was presented made it seem like it's not okay.
No, I get you
really,
100%.
You see what I'm saying? So
like I said, I'm just trying to push the envelope a little bit.
That's what I'm saying. The difference between taught and ingrained. It's been ingrained in us to automatically not seek out tension, but to expect tension from each other, even if it's not there. There's no presence of that.
I'm sure all of us here have an example of this almost every day. I mean, I'm in the Northeast now, and I'm just like walking, and I'll see people looking. I practice now. I say, all right, let me practice just saying, what's up? As soon as I make eye contact with anybody, that looks like they mad. I'm like, yo, what's up? And usually they're like, oh, what's up? I'm like, yo, but
I thought you might get that. Well, what's up?
Yeah.
What's up?
I've never gotten that, but that is. I'm not being.
You could get it though, depending on how you, depending on your tone. But I mean, you could get that though. And that makes it crazy. Like I just want to speak. Like you said, I'm just making a point to speak to everybody.
Yeah.
But it's based off of perception. Like two different people can approach that same situation with you, and based off of what your facial expression looks like, one of them will take it one way, one of them will take it the other way. Like you could be like,
voice inflection.
You could be like, yo, what's up, man? And somebody be like, oh, what's up, bro? You can do that to somebody else. What's up, man? What's up?
Exactly. Look you up and down.
So it's like, right. It's because I don't, and it's based off of perception. I may have had a bad day and then I'm running to you and you say what's up because you're just speaking, but because all of this happened, I can't take another thing happening now. I'm thinking that you want to mix and you want to get into something. So.
But I want to say something about that. Even if you are having a bad day, what gives us the right to take it out on somebody else?
None.
So, and the reason why I say that is because I'm learning myself how to, if I'm having a bad day, not to take it out on somebody else. Yeah. Because it's been a lot of situations where another person's having a bad day and they take it out on me, and then I take it personal.
Sure.
And it's like,
I mean, we all
I'm going to take it personal because we're on a phone or we're in person, so I take it that way. But I'm trying to get to the point where I can step back and say, okay, I know I didn't do anything, so what's the issue? And it's taking me some time to get there, but I'm making a conscious effort to do that.
But that's something that needs to be taught. Like we're talking about, needs to be
Absolutely.
taught. Like self-policing and self-control, like how to manage your own emotions so that you don't put out something that somebody can misinterpret as something else.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
Right.
That's the stuff that needs to be taught if we're talking about, you know.
Yeah.
And so being aware is part of that. Being aware of your surroundings and knowing what's going on, all of that is part of it. But you don't necessarily want to put out that we have to do a better job of self-policing, and it's taught. It's taught, you know.
It's just having a mindset of like assuming the best from people.
Yeah.
Right. And being prepared for
something to
else.
go wrong. Exactly.
And I remember having a conversation with one of my friends a long time ago when we both worked at Glen Mills, and that place taught us a whole different mindset when it came to like dealing with kids and all that kind of stuff like that. So when I left there and went to Camelot, which was run by people who were at Glen Mills, so I had the same kind of mindset. So we was all working, and the kids would call us OG, right? If they, you know, if they got cool with you, they say, "What's the OG?" whatever like that. And so I knew what they meant by that. I never thought anything negative about it or nothing like that. But one of my friends would get so worked up about it. Now he wasn't from Philly like me. He was from somewhere else, and so he took it as like them calling him old or something like that. You know, like a negative type of thing. Even though we weren't old at the time, but. And I had to explain to him, like, why would you think, I said, they're all cool with you. Why would you think they're disrespecting you? And at the same time, you're playing ball with them, you're doing this and doing that. I said, no, what they're doing is, I said, they're actually giving you respect.
Right.
I said, they're giving you respect.
He got that triggered something in him that he's got to figure out.
It's the way it's what he thought about, because he was super sensitive to being disrespected. Because he didn't have the same, so he was more of a, I won't say he was a suburban guy, but he wasn't a city guy, right? So where he came from, he wasn't used to some of the things that the kids would do or how they would interact with each other, interact with us. So he didn't know how to take it. He assumed the negative. And so I had to tell him, like, you're assuming what they're doing is negative because you don't understand it. And I said, no, what they're really doing is they're actually giving you respect. Like when they call us OG, it's not because they don't know our name or, you know, they're actually giving us respect. So it's actually a good thing. Now, if you have a problem with that, you can have a conversation with them about it. But I'm like, just understand what they're doing.
Understand.
Right?
Like even when I first got here from DC, if Young Boy, old head.
Yeah, Young Boy is another one where it's like, it's not, you know.
Call me an old head now. I'm like, oh, okay, nah. They like, yo, no, that's my old head.
Right.
You know, so that's like, okay, yeah, it's my young boy. Like, that's good. But I want to circle back real quick to, I'm gonna call it the revolving door of the kids that you've seen come through, because you said that they don't want to work hard. And what was the example you said one more time, just for me? You said
like you come in.
They come
in.
in.
You say you gotta you start work at 9. You get you get there a little bit early. 9 o'clock comes. By 9:30.
No, I want to hear the example. The example you gave.
No, I am. So you talking about the one where I talked about not working when you get
about
to work?
The kid that was like, yo, yeah. The kid was like, oh man, I had to go back on the block and make some money for my mom's.
Oh yeah, he
like,
said
whoa.
he had to support his old lady on the street.
Yeah,
I'm all good with that. I'm all.
No,
fine
that ain't
with
his
that.
mom's.
But no, not moms. I keep forgetting you're not from Philly.
I know what you mean.
Old lady is like his
I know what you
girlfriend.
mean. I know what you mean. No, okay, cool.
I had to clarify that.
I was just trying to remember the story. Go ahead.
But he came back, and I'm like, why are you back? And he's like, oh, I gotta feed my old lady. I got moves to make. Okay, but you're back in here. You can't do nothing in here that you can do outside.
Yep.
You can talk on the phone and send your homies to do X, Y, and Z, but at the end of the day, they're not gonna do it the way you do it. Then furthermore, if you got an old lady on the street, what are you doing in here? Like you're not saying his old lady should have been his motivation, but in his case, I think it should have been or it could have been, but he just went about it the wrong way.
Sure.
Selling drugs and doing this, doing that. If that's what you do, whatever.
Because you said like he's gonna be in jail for. I think the example we provided was you're in jail for 3 years. You're not making any money
for 3 years.
For 3 years, you're not making nothing. But when you was out, you made some quick money real quick. But you're missing, and then it's like, how come they don't want it? How come getting a job is why is that such a hard thing to fathom? Because it's just not quick enough? It's not enough?
I think that's case by case scenario.
Yeah, I do. Okay.
I also think I was talking to some kids at my school about this. We were sitting around talking about like life after high school, and so I was talking. They were talking. Some of them was jokingly saying like they were going to start hustling or something like that. And I gave them the same example of like, all right, let's say you make an absurd amount of money over a weekend, like $30,000, but then you get caught, right? And then you got to sit in jail for a year. Now that $30,000 turns into what you made for the entire year. It's not the same amount of money, right, as if you get it in one lump. And I said the reason from my perspective that a lot of people, especially the younger guys, fall into that is because it literally takes no effort to do. It's just about accepting the risk, right? Going to work is different. So if I get a job at Wawa, I'm 18 years old, I get a job at Wawa, I have to actually go there, I have to learn what I'm doing, I have to commit to doing this job, take the slower money or whatever like that, accept that, and then be willing to go back and keep going through it. The hustling is staying out with my friends if they're out there doing it, or staying out with a bunch of people who are out there doing it, and kind of like letting you're selling a product that sells itself. There's no work involved in it. You're not selling, encyclopedias or something like that. We have to actually convince a customer to buy it or a consumer to buy it. You're selling something that sells itself. So it's very easy to do. It's just accepting the risk, which if you don't look towards your future,
there's no risk for you.
There's no risk for you. You're not viewing the risk anyway. So you're like, I'm not thinking about jail until I go. So I'm not even really accepting the risk. I'm just going to do it.
I just thought about something. Drug dealers are entrepreneurs.
Yeah, the same business acumen that it takes to do that.
Yeah.
You could be a multi-million-dollar corporation.
Exactly. But it's just the mindset.
It's misplaced knowledge and execution. That's what it is. The same, like I said, the same effort that it takes to run a drug enterprise. The CEOs do the same thing legally, right? The same mindset, the same work ethic. I mean, guys who get to the top, when you see the stories about the Frank Lucas and stuff like that, they're not vacationing.
Frank Lucas.
Yeah, they're not vacationing all year long. They're working. They're overseeing. They're constantly committed in what they're doing. They're following up. They're fact checking. They're doing all the stuff that a CEO does. Most CEOs work 80 hours a week. They work insane hours. They don't sleep because it's so much responsibility to run a Fortune 500 company. It's the same thing. We just don't apply it there.
Yeah,
we don't know how to transfer the titles and say drug kingpin, Fortune 500 CEO. Same thing. Same thing.
Man, y'all better come out the Boots of Bravery June 15th.
Yeah.
Kensington, Capa. Make sure y'all get here.
Yeah.
This is some of the stuff that you're going to get when y'all win. I'm not going to say if y'all come, when y'all come.
When you get there, yeah.
And I'm
June
gonna
15th.
June 15th. I'm going to bounce this back to Lopez, but before I do want to have a question for each one of us, because I know that it's important for Patton. I know it's important for everybody here, but me and Patton have talked about this a little bit more. The concept of Black Wall Street, okay? So what I want to know is real quick. Let's just say the four of us, okay? Listen up. The four of us created a version of Black Wall Street, meaning you was an expert and successful in one area. You were, Chris, don't call me Justin Timberlake. Patton, you was, same thing, and I was. And we have plugs and connections all over the city. That would be predominantly probably like Black owned. We made it. Would kids and the kids that we talk to still be willing to come underneath us if the money wasn't going to be as quick? Because I mean, we're trying to help them, but they got to want to try to do it too. Would that be something we have to do, like a training program, and get other kids that are in between? Like, are we gonna have to fill that gap? I mean, like, I'm just throwing it out there.
Unfortunately, I think,
like I said, I know people right now that are selling drugs that I've taught. Yeah, like I really do. I'm thinking about them right now. It's like that. But they don't want to rebound for me and get $10-15 an hour.
Right, because that's number one is work involved.
But what they're doing is work on the corner too. I mean, like Lopez said, the product does sell itself.
Right,
but
no, you're right. The product does sell itself, but
so let me rephrase what I mean by work. I'll substitute work for intentional effort. Okay, intentional effort into earning money, but not at a rate that you would doing something illegal.
Okay.
But to go back to your question, unfortunately, I think our kids, I think it would be, the percentages would be way off. So I think you would have way less that would want to learn from us and learn how to build than you would more. That's just my personal opinion, because unless
you don't have Mercedes Benzes,
exactly. Unless you had some tangible toys to draw them in. Well, how are you doing it right? and that's not even where the value is placed. That's just okay. That's stuff that I can afford to buy now. That doesn't mean that I'm any smarter, any better, or I have any more knowledge to give you than the next person. That's just what attracts you to what it is I'm trying to offer you. But if I don't have that, I'm still the same guy with the same information.
Mhm.
You know what I'm saying? So unfortunately, I think that would be the case. Like if you didn't have that, you wouldn't have as many people
'Cause
coming to learn that.
I'm
That's just
using,
my opinion.
I'm just using this to segue into what Lopez was just talking about.
Mhm.
Because you just told us the example of, let's say we all have the blueprint. We know what to do.
Right.
And then we want to have some of these kids let us be their coach, like business coach, mentor, accountability group, accountability partner, and give them not the fast track, but we've worked our way up.
Mhm.
Let's show you, here's the steps you can skip to save you some time. And then you told us the example of, what's her name?
Just hilarious.
Yeah, what happened with her briefly? And then you said
So-
her, and then you segued right into Derek Jacks.
Mhm.
That's his name, right? Derek
Yeah.
Jacks.
And it started a debate on social media.
Okay, go. My bad.
So the original video was of Jess making a video where she was talking to a friend of hers about starting a business. So she wanted to take some of her money and put it into a business, but she wasn't sure how to start it. So she reached out to a friend who had a successful business.
Mhm.
She didn't say what it was, but her friend had started some kind of successful business. So she said she was upset because I asked my friend, essentially like, how did you get started? What steps did you take to get your business off the ground?
Yeah.
And her friend responded with very negative statements that were almost deterring her from even doing it. Things like, oh, well, it's a lot of work, or you're going to have a lot of sleepless nights, or it takes a long time to get off the ground. When Jess was asking her very specific questions: what did you do? What steps did you take? Who did you contact? How did you get it started? Right? Not, do you think I should do it, or what's your opinion about me doing it, but what did you do? So she was making a video venting about her frustration and anger towards her friend for basically not opening the door to that information. That led into a response video by Derek Jacks, who basically had the opinion that if you are a person that just was wrong, and if you are a person who has worked hard to establish yourself in a business, a particular business, and somebody comes along and asks you for information or wants to start a business, whether it's similar to your own or just something in the business field, that if you worked hard to establish it, you shouldn't just give away the information that you sacrificed to get
Yeah.
and the experience that you sacrificed to get in order to get it. So you shouldn't give that information away. So then
Should not give.
you should not give. So if I have a business, if I spent 15 years building my brand, and I sacrificed and I made contacts and I spent money and I did all these things, and then Dev comes along and says, "Well, listen, I'm trying to start a business. Can you help me out? Can you tell me what you did?" I should close the door on Dev and let him go through his own trials and tribulations in order to build his brand. I should not help him. And that started a firestorm on social media because that's a very closed-minded. That's part of our problem, is us being closed-minded. Why would you not want to help out somebody else? Nobody said do it for you. So nobody in any video said, I went to my friend and said, can they do it for me?
Mm-hmm.
Or can they give me something other than information? So it wasn't on that level. It was just strictly just the startup, the idea of where
But that's what I don't. Yeah. Okay. So like I said, I just don't. I just give stuff people for free because they're not going to do nothing with it anyway, unless they're built for it. Like I said, that's the equalizer, is how much work, how bad do you really want something? Because we can give them the blueprint to everything, like you just said, like determined athletes. It's an LLC, right? That's a process. Growing a client base, building relationships, marketing. I know digital marketing now pretty good after doing ClickFunnels and Builderall and all that type of stuff. Funnels, the importance of funnels, all that type of stuff. Strength and conditioning, speaking, teaching, branding, building, apparel, and now doing conferences, standing up. I just wrote I'm writing speeches now. Why wouldn't I not want to give that to somebody? Because if that's not for them, they're not going to do it anyway.
Right.
And all the work behind it might make them rethink about, am I really built for this entrepreneurship lifestyle?
Right.
So I'm just like, just give it to them for free. I don't understand it. I don't understand.
And I definitely agree with that. I would also say to your first question about if we had our own businesses and we put the youth under us, right? I think if we were willing to accept or not accept the typical employee-employer relationship, then we could motivate kids to stay under us, right? So if we're trying to, so you said about if we had our own Black Wall Street type deal going,
Yeah.
we're four successful Black businessmen,
I'm in something, you're in something, you're in something,
right?
it's in something,
And we're trying to look at kids to give them an alternative to the quick money or selling drugs or hustling, things like that. And Tim said he alluded to the tangible stuff, right? Having stuff that's tangible that would attract them in.
Sure.
I think the other piece would be, and I think you gave a good example of a kid who had the alternative. I mean, as an alternative to hustling, come and rebound for you and make money doing that as an employee of your company. And what would deter him from doing that? So I'm like, the work part would be the deterrent, right? But if you were strictly just an employer-employee relationship where you said, I'm going to hire you for this, come do this and you get paid, right? We know that he'll be deterred by the money because we also know what choice he's facing. I can make more money hustling than doing this.
Sure.
And that's where you say, all right, I'm not going to just be his employer. Now I'm going to be something else to him.
Mm-hmm.
Because now I can also be a teacher, right? And say to him, I understand what choice you have. And I'm gonna try to do what I can do to keep you grounded. I think we don't do that enough. There's not enough outlets where that happens, where we get out of the employer box and say, all right, this is still a young man that needs to be taught something and understand why doing this job at this particular time of your life is more important than what you're looking at.
Mm-hmm.
Because we just leave them to make the choice, which most kids will make the wrong choice if it feels better. You know?
Yeah.
Adults will do that.
I hear you.
You know?
Mhm.
I hear you. Like I said, man, like I said, I'm about to wrap this up, but these are just some of the topics that I can't wait because, especially you two now, I didn't realize how you guys are like maybe like Iron Man and Captain America. I'm serious when it comes to that because I just know how in depth you are, and now after listening to Chris, it's just like, yo,
Yeah.
like it's a lot of knowledge and a lot of experience and a lot of information that we can help people with. Just off of that, just off the grip. So, like I said, any last words, Patton? Are you good? Chris, did you have anything else that you need?
Come out
wanted
to
to say?
Boots
Come out,
of
okay.
Bravery.
You already
and get
beat me
these
to it.
nuggets, man.
Yeah, June 15th
Come on.
from 1 to 4. This is going to be a powerful, quick hitter. I might have a extra little surprise for some people. I have a meeting. Yeah, I know.
Bring a friend, bring
yeah.
questions, bring concerns, bring scenarios.
Yeah,
We'll accept them all.
I'm trying to get y'all some take notes. I want this is important. The stuff we're going over is important.
And I would like to add this from the knowledge that all three of us have in this room. I feel that
Oh, 4.
Well, yeah, 4 including myself.
Yeah,
but
absolutely.
I feel that if we don't have the answer to something, we will get you the answer. We're not going to lie and sugarcoat and say, "Oh yeah, well, do this and do that." No, we don't. I feel the energy from these guys and the spirits from these guys that we will be able to answer your questions. And like I said, if we can't, we will find the answer for you.
Yeah.
I feel like these guys are open books as well as I am.
Yeah.
If we don't understand something, we'll get the answer. That's the basis of it. So if you have questions that need to be answered, you don't have a male figure, a mentor, whoever, you don't have that in your life, please come out. Please, please, please come out. I'm not saying that we'll have every answer that you may be looking for, but we will be able to answer at least 1 or 2 questions that you have. And also, somebody else in the room might be going through the same thing that you're going through. You might not want to ask that question, but that person that asked that question is going to help you out in the long run. So don't be afraid to ask questions. Please come out. And again, listen to Instant Grits podcast.
Yeah.
Pat is going to have to tell you all the platforms because I don't remember.
But
I don't remember.
Before the platforms, like I said, this is an accountability men's conference. Like it starts with you. So with the hard questions that y'all may have, the first place you should be able to turn right back in is where? Yourself.
Mm-hmm.
Figure out what's triggering that reaction, what's triggering that response, that emotion, and then think about the things you're thinking about the most. I think they said we have 90,000 thoughts a day. 80% of them are the same thing. So once we start changing our mindsets about certain stuff, once you start thinking about you within, half of your answers can get addressed real quick.
Mm-hmm.
And we're all staying in our lanes. I'm not reaching talking about the Vatican or anything. Like, I don't know.
Mm-hmm.
But what I am talking about is my life experience and how it's prepared me and got me to this point. And
Right.
my mindset shifts, my relationships, the addictions that I've dealt with. Like, we all have certain things that I think somebody can relate to, but it all starts from within.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, what platforms are we on? I think we're on almost all of them.
Yeah, but more popular
Get it
ones.
together. Get it together.
iTunes, Spotify, Stitcher, Google Play, YouTube, Podbean, instantgrits.podbean.com.
Yep.
And
And we on
what is it?
podcast.
Podcast Addict?
Podcast Addict.
There you go.
We're on all of them. So like I said, we're probably gonna try to do an open gym. Please stay locked in on Determined Athletes on Instagram. So because that's where I post most of the stuff. And like I said, you come, that's $5 off, real quick. That's easy. Just come in, like I said, just come play. I'm not gonna call you a name or nothing. Just come play. You already know they fun. And yeah, come on out. That'll be good. So like I said, remember to tell a friend, leave your comments, leave a great review. He went through all those, support this movement. Like I said, we have a lot of moving parts coming up that are growing this year. So like I said, hold yourself truly accountable because everything starts with you guys first. It's been a long day, but this day's gone by pretty fast because Lopez got here and just started smiling because he thought that we was gonna put the camera on. But
I wanted to bring some energy.
he did. Mustafa Face came in and Lion Kinged it up. But like I said, make moves, God bless. Make moves, move markets. Have a blessed day, guys.
All right, guys. Believe bigger, faster.
Peace and love.